Call the meeting to order. Notice of this meeting was given to all board members and associates in a meeting notice dated July 10th, 2025. Furthermore, on that date, a copy of such notice was sent to the Times, the Trentonian, and the clerk of the Township of Hamilton. It was also posted on the bulletin board at the entrance to the boardroom in the Hamilton Square Administrative Building. Please rise for the flag salute.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Ms. Atwood, roll call.
Ms. Stanton?
Here.
Ms. Williams?
Here.
Ms. Byrne?
Here.
Dr. Farrar?
Here.
Ms. Harvey?
Here.
Mr. Kanka?
Here.
Dr. McSheen?
Not
Soto? Ms. Thornton?
Here.
We have a quorum.
Can I have a motion to go into executive session?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstain? Motion passes.
Whereas NJSA 10:4-13 requires adoption of the board to go into executive session, be it resolved that the board, pursuant to the Open Public Meetings Act, New Jersey, Title 18A, and the Hamilton Township Board of Education Bylaw number 0166, hereby enter executive session to discuss a matter involving student matters, human resource matters, and matters falling under the attorney-client privilege. Be it further resolved that the minutes of this executive session shall be made public following formal action by the board and/or at the conclusion of any investigation, due process proceeding, or litigation, so long as not prohibited by law, and so long as the need for maintaining confidentiality no longer exists. I'm going to call the meeting back to order. I thank everyone for their patience, and I do apologize for the delay in coming out of executive session. I'm going to start this evening with the superintendent's report.
Thank you very much. Good evening, everyone. Welcome. I hope everybody is having a great summer. I have a few items here to discuss with you. First of all, I want to say that our summer camp is a big hit. We are halfway through summer camp. We have 867 campers who are registered over the 4 weeks. Last year, just for reference point, we had 763 campers. Wow. So it's really great to see our students enjoying the summer. Last week, our district had our professional development for administrators. It was a very successful 3.5 days. I want to thank Robert Wood Johnson, Barnabas, their gym area off of Quaker Bridge, the College of New Jersey, and Grounds for Sculpture, all provided us facilities where our administrative team were able to go through a number of different activities and trainings. Some of the things that our administrators participated in day one, handle with care training. On day two, we did some team building. We did some individual building and department district level priority focus activities. We went over our new work order system. We had a business office update. We went through our new time clock training. We did our multi-tiered systems of support training, block scheduling preparation, elementary discipline code discussion, and our supervisors went through and started designing some look-fors for the administrative team as we go in and do some informal observations. On day three, we went back to team building. On day three, we awarded a two-time rock, paper, scissors champion, Mr. Gambaluka, who is now the two-time champion, so just in case anybody sees him. We had an HR update, a power school training, and a school law update. On day four, we had team building again, school safety training, mandated training for our administrators, and AI tech training, and SEL for administrators. So it was a very filled 3.5 days. Last summer, I put together the superintendent's 60-second summer updates. This year, they will start this week, and they will continue until the first week school starts. I want to also update our community and anybody who is watching on our preschool. Every month I've updated you on the preschool projects. The project as currently proposed will not move forward as we do not have funding from the county. However, this Board of Education and I have been clear. Our students and families deserve pre-K, and we need a comprehensive pre-K in our district. The recent budget for the state solidifies the need for and funding for preschool in the future for schools across the state of New Jersey. The planning and design for the preschool remains relevant and usable for the future and any preschools we might put in the district, a future we continue to pursue in this district. All official notification on the status of this preschool project or any preschool project is from the Board of Education and the superintendent. Emails, conversations, text messages, or other communication among individuals or groups are not official notification and do not represent the views of the Board of Education or myself. As I've done month after month, I want to again remind those who have come to the mic to discuss this project of a few things. The project itself only addresses 350 students of the 1,800 students eligible for preschool in our district. At no time has the board or I ever stated that all 1,800 students would be educated on the property of Robinson. This project is designed as the starting point of providing preschool education to the youngest students in our community and meeting a need for our students' learning and our young families in the community. This project has been talked about for at least 7 months in all 7 Board of Education meetings and specific presentations, including Q&A available to the public twice in those 7 meetings. One public forum at Robinson where an architect and I presented information and answered questions for over 90 minutes. We did not leave until every question was answered. And we've also had various communication to the community, including at least 4 times in the community update. And in January, the entire final report of this facility strategic plan and a press release were provided to the community. And it was also written up in 2 articles in our community update and 2 articles in the press. Issues and concerns by the public were addressed. They were addressed in a timely manner, including increasing green space, reducing the parking lot, adjusting a traffic pattern, and having a traffic study completed. I want to remind the community that this project, which would have served only a 1/6 of the identified preschool population, would have been partially funded from a grant we received from the New Jersey Department of Education at $11 million, and funding that would not have increased the tax levy on the taxpayer in Hamilton Township. The state money will not be available moving forward. We will seek to implement pre-K for not just the 350 students that this project would have addressed, but for all 1,800 students eligible. This is a long-term goal for our district that I will be proud to champion. Finally, I want to repeat again, so there's no confusion for those who continue to question the items above. We've responded to the concerns and addressed them in the design. This project was to educate our youngest students and provide them a learning environment they deserve, an opportunity most other districts have already implemented or are now implementing. However, at this time, this project, as designed, is not moving forward at that location, but we will not give up on this needed educational opportunity for our students. So that is an update on the preschool. For those looking to stay up to date in their school district, I want to notify you also there was a request for people that don't have children in our school district to get access to our community update when it comes out. So now on our webpage, there is actually a sign up. You can register your email as a community member, and if you scroll on our main page, on the bottom left-hand side, right below the pictures, there is a link that says, click here to subscribe to our digital community update. You need only provide your email and your name. Every month we put out a community update. You will get an email with a link to that community update. Our first community update, so you're not looking for it, is not coming out until the end of August. Finally, I want to say we have a lot of work being done around the district. A lot of our buildings have construction and other projects going on, and we will provide an update in the community update when it goes out of those projects that are going on, and I know Mr. Kanka will talk a little bit about that in his report. That concludes my report for today.
Thank you, Dr. Rocco. So I'm going to move on to Board of Education members, if we have any announcements or comments, and I'm going to start with Mr. Kanka.
No.
Ms. Byrne?
No, thank you.
Ms. Williams?
I just want to say how for June for graduation at Nottingham, so it was a wonderful experience. It's my first time being a board member. I was able to be there. I was on stage, and I was able to hand my son who graduated, the youngest, his diploma. So it was a very nice experience. I was able to speak at the graduation, and I just felt it was such an honor, and I'm just proud of our students. So I was happy that graduation that year is over, and we're on to the next one. So I just wanted to mention graduation. Congratulations to all the graduates.
Thank you. Ms. Harvey?
Thank you. Just to comment upon Dr. Rocco's comment about the camping, they still can register for week 4. It is a great program. I had the opportunity to attend the final performance of week 1. So if you don't know, parents and families are invited the last day of camp there's certain performing camps, including just seeing how the students learned American Sign Language. They do a whole presentation, so it's a great opportunity to see how the kids not only had fun at camp, but also learned a lot. So if you're looking for something to do next week for your little one, check out our camp page. It's not too late.
Thank you, Ms. Harvey. Ms. Stanton?
Yes, thank you. Actually, to go off of what Ms. Harvey had said, I also just wanted to give everyone the reminder for drop-offs and pickups. Please be careful and be safe. There's a lot of double parking, a lot of people running out into traffic, so please be careful and be patient. I know that it gets crazy in there, especially in the morning, but we're trying to keep everyone safe. I also wanted to thank our staff. They're doing a fantastic job over there at the camp. It's one more successful year. Thank you.
Thank you. Dr. Ferrara?
Yes, I too have visited camp, and I was quite surprised at how many parents came that day. It was a lot of fun. I want to announce that a 2014 graduate of Nottingham High School and Hamilton resident, Ramsden Medeus, has received a Fulbright John Wood Award that enables him to study at the London Academy of Music and Dramatic Art as part of one of the most well-regarded and impactful scholarship programs in the world. It's really hard to get a Fulbright, and this is just totally amazing that one of our graduates has done this. There's probably going to be a blurb in the Hamilton Post because I found this online today. I want to remind people that we do have a couple of Donors Choose projects on our website. Mr. Bonomo and Mr. Wilmot would like to thank all of the generous supporters from our last timpani campaign. They shot for the moon, they said, trying to get a full brand new timpani set for the students to use. However, they fell a little short of their goal. So on July 4th, Donors Choose ended the campaign and released the funds back to us to use towards another campaign. And so now they have a total of $3,480, and they're going to try now and get just one timpani, which is a kettle drum in that most people know it by. It's one 32-inch timpani. So if you're so moved, just go to Donors Choose and you can support that project. The second project, also at Grice, is from Mr. Wagner, and he's looking to create a calming quarter. And as always, we thank the community for your support.
Thank you, Dr. Ferrara. Ms. Soto?
Thank you. I would like to echo Mrs. Williams' comments. I had the distinct pleasure of being at Steinert's graduation this year, speaking to the students, the class of 2025, and handing the diploma to my daughter. And I felt truly privileged to have that opportunity. So I thank you all here for allowing me to be there. Also, congratulations to all of the students in the class of 2025. It was an exciting event, a great culmination of a fabulous year, and I can't wait to see what the class of 2026 does. I have not yet made it out to summer camp. However, I have been following the camps on social media. So for those individuals who are asking for access to the community update, I also encourage you to follow the Hamilton Township School District on social media. I follow the district on Facebook, on Instagram, and on LinkedIn. So there are a number of different channels where you can receive that information and see the kids in action. It looks like a fabulous time. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Soto. Dr. McSheen.
Yeah, so first off, I have to agree with the other people on the board and here who've said amazing things about the summer camps. I am kind of sad to say now I have 2 kids who are going to the summer camps, and they've had a great time. They enjoyed board game camp recently, and instead of driving me crazy all day as I'm trying to work, they were able to play the board games that they would be begging me to play with them. I would love to, but I have to work, with each other, and met some other friends at camp as well. So that was a great experience for them. I would also like to thank the people at the public library who held a fantastic event on 12th of July. That was the 50th anniversary celebration of the library. I don't know if anyone here was able to make it or see it. It was a hot day, so it was a little challenging on that front, but there was music, there was food, there was ice cream, there was science, and because of the heat, it was a good reason to go into the library and go pick out some books. So it was a great family event. So thanks to the staff of the library and the friends of the library who were able to put that on, and I know my family enjoyed it, and so did many others who were there. And also, I wanted to thank the Senora Peak and her team at Cruiser for going with their walking and driving tours of their neighborhoods. I'm unsure if anyone else has seen that, but they pick a neighborhood and kind of drive through and try to connect with the students in the community there, and just kind of do some outreach during the summer and get them ready for the upcoming year, which is great. Lastly, I just want to echo the ability to connect with the district at our pop-up schools. So Cruiser, like I just mentioned, is having a pop-up school on the 12th of August. That is 3 to 5 p.m. These are all, I think, 3 to 5 p.m. Sayin is on August 14th, and Wilson right here is August 19th. There's also one at Greenwood on September 9th, so I guess that's after the school year starts. And I believe that is it. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. McSheen. So I do have a few comments. So I also had the honor of attending Nottingham and Hamilton West graduation. Congratulations to the class of 2025. It's always a wonderful time to see all of our students that have gone through the school and are now moving on, whether it be the workforce, the trades, college, and the military. I always say our future is so bright, and I am so proud of each and every one of them. And again, congratulations to the class of 2025, and I can't wait to see what the future holds for them. So at this time, we are going to have a presentation. It's the SSDS presentation, which is our school safety data presentation. This is something that we provide twice a year. We've had many questions from the community members in regards to some information that is provided in this report. So I'm going to pass it on to Dr. Altobello. And again, this is something that we provide twice a year as per compliance. Dr. Altobello.
Thank you. So while Mr. O'Boyle's getting the presentation up, just some background information for everybody. What is SSDS? It's the Student Safety Data System. So it's a tool that was was established by the New Jersey Department of Education in 2018, and it requires schools to report, and it collects for the state incidents that affect student safety and school climate. So what is tracked through SSDS? It collects detailed information about incidents that happen in our schools or on our school property, especially those that affect student safety or operations. It tracks violence, which is defined as fights, assaults, threats, and other physical altercations. Vandalism, which is property damage to school facilities. Substance use, possession of or use of drugs, alcohol, or tobacco on school property. Weapons offenses, so possession of firearms, knives, or other dangerous items. Harassment, intimidation, and bullying, both alleged and confirmed incidents, and other incidents leading to the removal of students. What do schools report? We are required to report the type of incident, the date and location, the students who were involved, which includes their grade level, and whether or not they are the victim or the offender. Any disciplinary actions that the school takes, and if it's related to an HIB, what the outcome of those investigations are. We are also required to report any referrals that are made to law enforcement or other support services. Who uses SSDS? The New Jersey Department of Education uses it to monitor, for monitoring purposes and policy decisions. We use it to improve our school safety practices. The Board of Education receives public reports 2 times a year, and parents or community members get public summaries through these presentations. There are 2 reporting periods as per the state of New Jersey. Reporting period 1 are incidents that take place September 1st through December 31st. And reporting period 2 are incidents that take place between January 1st to June 30th. This report today is reporting period 1 for the last school year. So it's September 1 through December 31st of the previous school year. The first slide that I'm going to show is our data for elementary schools. We have 17 elementary schools, and we are not required to do this, but we show this each and every year. We do a year-over-year comparison. So if you look at the chart, I'm just going to summarize it for you. Total incidents year over year are down 28.8%. Incidents of violence are down 26%. Incidents of vandalism are down 38.5%. Incidents of substance are down 13.3%. Incidents involving weapons on school property are down 44%. Confirmed HIBs are down 42% for the elementary division. For the secondary division, so your 6 secondary buildings, total incidents are down 50% year over year. Incidents of violence are down 37.5% year over year. Vandalism is down 100%. Substance abuse is down 100%. Weapons offenses are down 75%. Confirmed HIBs are down 44%. And alleged HIBs are down 8%. District-wide perspective. Total incidents year over year are down 21.5%. Issues of violence are down 23%. Issues of vandalism are down 11%. Substance issues are down 10.3%. Weapons issues are down 20%. Confirmed HIBs are down 41%. This data is outstanding in a year-over-year comparison when you think of the fact that we have 24 schools and 13,000 students. Every single one of these categories, we are down year over year. That's through the hard work of the families, the teachers, the counselors, the administrators, and the students. We're extremely proud of this data. Now, what happens from here is the board tonight is going to vote to accept this data. And then what happens from there is when I return to the office, all of this data, including a school-by-school breakdown of each one of these categories, is available on the school website. So for example, if you go to the Office of Administration webpage today, you will see a year-over-year comparison from last year that has 23-24 and 22-23 because that was the last board-approved data. every school broken down by every category. So anybody who wants to see this information, any of those categories broken down by school, it has been and will continue to be available on the Office of Administration website. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out to me, but it has been there since 2018 and it will continue to be there as is required by the Department of Education. So if the board has any questions, I'd be happy to answer them.
Dr. Altabella, will you just, for the community, talk about HIB trainings and HIB programs so that they know what those are? Thank you.
Yes, so we are required to have trainings for staff members, and then we are required to have programs for students. So those, while not required to be reported through SSDS, we do report. So to give you an example, our trainings for staff are up, and the programs that we've offered throughout the district for students is up, which I think is a contributing factor to the fact that all of the other categories are going down because we continue to put a focus on making sure that we are training all of our people year over year over year over year and providing ample opportunities for students to receive programs related to anti-bullying, issues of violence, vandalism, substance, and weapons.
So I'm going to open it up to the board members if anyone else has any questions. Dr. McSheen?
I do have a question. Can you, I apologize, I probably ask this every time. You probably told me a bunch of times. HIB confirmed and HIB alleged, are those mutually exclusive or is there potential overlap?
No, so these are mutually exclusive. So what this means is that if you look at this chart, we had 20 confirmed HIBs, and then there were an additional 38 HIBs that were alleged, that were found not to be HIB through the process or through the initial determination process by a principal.
That's all I have right now. Thank you.
Okay?
Ms. Soto?
Yes. Dr. Altabella, just for my own clarification, a weapons offense, is that merely the act of bringing a weapon to school? Would that count as an offense, or is it the attempt of using a weapon and altercation?
The definition for SSDS is the possession of a firearm, knife, or other dangerous item on school property. So
Okay.
it's simply being in possession.
And so the second part to my question is, do you think the numbers are down because of the heightened security measures that we've put into place?
Yes, I think that the commitment that the board made a few years ago to change the entry process at the secondary level to include weapons detection systems, and then making the investment to bring outside security in, I think has made a tremendous difference at the secondary level with respect to that. And I assume that it will do the same at the elementary level when we move to that this year.
Great, thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Dr. Farrar, do you have any other questions?
Yes. One more thing, Dr. Altabella. Could you explain for the public the definition of HIB and what it entails?
I will do my best, not having it in front of me, but harassment, intimidation, and bullying, according to the Anti-Bullying Bill of Rights, is an issue or an incident, one or multiple. Mr. Carey, correct me if I'm wrong, I'm trying to get legalese here. One or multiple issues that meet the following three criteria: is motivated by a real or perceived characteristic, such as race, religion, ancestry, sexual orientation, could be physical characteristics like I'm wearing glasses, individuals who have braces. So it has to meet that, and it has to substantially disrupt the victim's ability to receive education. Those are the two key factors in determining whether or not something is harassment, intimidation, and bullying under the Anti-Bullying Bill of Rights. You could have an issue that is viewed as harassment, intimidation, and bullying that is not motivated by a real or perceived characteristic. Therefore, it would not meet the legal definition of harassment, intimidation, and bullying under the law. It would be a violation of our code of conduct. It would be a violation of board policy. So there would still be a response by the school, but for SSDS purposes, these are simply incidents that have met the legal threshold under the Anti-Bullying Bill of Rights, which is being motivated by an actual or perceived characteristic and substantially disrupting the ability for a student to go about their normal day at school. I hope that didn't destroy it legally.
Thank you. And even though it's a situation doesn't rise to HIB, the district still addresses conflict among students.
Yeah, so a lot of times what happens is you can have a situation where something is conflict and not harassment, intimidation, and bullying under the law, but conflict is still a violation of board policy. It's still a violation of the student code of the student code of behavior. So there's always going to be measures taken by the school, both restorative measures and at times disciplinary measures for something that may be conflict. At other times, you could have something that is conflict, but is also harassment, intimidation, and bullying. So it could violate board policy for conflict, but it could also be motivated by a real or perceived characteristic, which would then meet the legal threshold to be harassment, intimidation, and bullying. So you could have a code of conduct violation as well as having a harassment, intimidation, and bullying violation. In any situation where we receive a report that a student may be the target of anything, whether it be motivated by a real or perceived characteristic, or it simply be motivated by hate, by meanness, by disrespect, we're always going to investigate that. What's going to determine whether or not we investigate it through the code of conduct or we investigate it through harassment, intimidation, and bullying under the Anti-Bullying Bill of Rights is going to be whether or not what is reported to us is motivated by a real or perceived characteristic. That's bullet point 1. If it is automatically going to be investigated as harassment, intimidation, and bullying under the Anti-Bullying Bill of Rights. If it is not motivated by a real or perceived characteristic, it is going to be investigated by us as either conflict or a code of conduct violation. In any event, both of those situations, there's always going to be remedial measures by the school, whether it be counseling, restoration, or discipline. So please understand that when we say 20 confirmed HIBs, that means that there were 20 incidents that took place that met the legal definition of harassment, intimidation, and bullying under the Anti-Bullying Bill of Rights in the state of New Jersey. That doesn't mean that there were only 20 incidents that were reported to us where somebody said something or did something to somebody else that was mean. Those would be investigated as conflict through our code of conduct. Those are not reported to the state of New Jersey because the state of New Jersey only wants information related to what is the legal threshold of harassment, intimidation, and bullying.
One more. And so when we get to HIB alleged, it's investigated as HIB. If it's not found HIB, it's probably found conflict, and it's still addressed. It's not just summarily dismissed.
Correct. All that means is that it did not meet the 3-point prong threshold under the Anti-Bullying Bill of Rights. That just means, so it's reported as alleged, not confirmed. But it is still addressed with remedial measures, whether they be restoration, discipline, counseling, things of that nature.
Thank you.
Dr. Farr,
I'm sorry.
Ms. Stanton?
Can I follow up on Dr.
Yes,
Farr's?
Dr. McSheen, go right
Thank you,
ahead.
sorry. So I think there's a natural tendency for us to hear HIB and think that it's a severity thing, right? That HIB is necessarily and of itself more severe than something that is not considered HIB. And I think what you're saying is that there's not, it's hard because it's someone's life and it's not very objective, but it's not necessarily that because an incident is considered HIB, that it is more severe or much more harmful than a non-HIB. Is that correct?
Yeah, so what I would say is that, in my experience, many of the things that are conflict have the tendency to be more impactful on the victim than the things that simply meet the legal definition of harassment, intimidation, bullying. But what I will say, just so everybody has clarity here, our position, right? So Dr. Rocco, myself, and the rest of the senior staff, whenever, and Ms., Dr. Disler, the most recent principal who is sitting with us now as the director of guidance, she can tell you that our guidance to our administration and our guidance to our anti-bullying specialist is very clear. We encourage them to investigate everything as it may be harassment, intimidation, and bullying when it comes in. I would rather have us go through the definitive process outlined by the state and have it found not to be harassment, intimidation, and bullying, then have us look at something, especially for a principal, because the state does provide an avenue for principals to do an initial determination and essentially determine it doesn't need investigation. I've told the principals, we're not doing that. We're not calling balls and strikes. The state has set a very specific investigatory process for us to follow. We will follow it, and if it comes out to be not harassment, intimidation, and bullying, that's fine, but nobody will be able to say that any principal or any school in the Hamilton Township School District does not take every one of the accusations that comes and fully investigate it. We do not use principals. Very, very limited instances, and that's only in consultation with me and at times with consultation with the attorney. So we investigate everything that comes in that may be harassment, intimidation, and bullying, just so that there's transparency and clarity with the fact that we're not adverse to those numbers. We want those numbers. We want the public to know that we are investigating accusations that come in. And everything that comes in, whether it meets the legal definition or not, is going to be investigated as a code of conduct violation. And just so everybody understands, when we do an HIB investigation, we're not waiting till that investigatory process is completed, because it is a long process. It is a legal process. It requires board approval to put remediation in place, right? We're going to put remediation in place immediately and report that to the board when we report that HIB so that you can vote on it.
Very good, thank you.
You're welcome.
Ms. Yen.
So I don't have any extra questions for you. They were answered with Ms. Soda had asked, but I do want to thank you for continuing to be transparent with us in the community about this. And if you could, I've seen a few people walk in since you started. Can you just go over again where this information can be found moving forward, and also the breakdown of each school?
Yes, so after the board votes tonight to approve the SSDS reporting period 1, when I get back to the office, which will be Tuesday, full disclosure, when I get back to the office on Tuesday, this will be under the Office of Administration. You just click on Office of Administration, there's a link, it says School Safety Data. When you click on that, it will give you this presentation inclusive of additional pages that has a breakdown, elementary, school by school, incident by incident, year over year. Middle school, high school, same thing. Individual school, year over year. So if you have a student that goes to University Heights and you want to see what happened at University Heights year over year, reporting period 1 for violence, you can see that. Information you will not see there are student names, victims' names, staff members' names, family names. You will simply see total number of incidents. But that information has been available and will continue to be available in that same spot since 2018, because that is what the law requires. And it is updated every time we do this report. So what is there currently today will come down. Reporting period 1 will go up. In November or December, I will be back here to give a year-over-year comparison. So the entire year, 24-25 versus the entire year, 23-24. And then after the board votes on that in either November or December, this will come down and the year-over-year data will go up, and it will remain there until I come back at the end of next year, over the summer, and I give you reporting period 1 again. Thank you. You're welcome.
Ms. Harvey?
Just want to thank the administration for last year we were in a different position with the data, and so I want to thank them for implementing programs that have led to a decrease, and I just encourage the continued work so that next year we have even better numbers, and that I'm very happy to hear that we investigate all claims, because I know that the complaints that I hear from parents don't understand how to bring that forward, so that if a parent out there thinks that there is an issue with HIB, then they should just get in contact with the school principal, who will investigate. And if the response isn't what's desired, then they should talk to Dr. Altabello.
Yes, and I think that the other thing is we will continue to work with schools and school communities on the difference. Sometimes what happens is parents will reach out and they think something is harassment, intimidation, and bullying. but it doesn't meet the legal threshold to be harassment, intimidation, and bullying. And then it's investigated as a code of conduct issue. And one of the big things to remember for parents, you're all parents of students there, when we investigate something, whether it be harassment, intimidation, and bullying, or it be a code of conduct violation, one of the most frustrating things for parents, which I hear all the time, and I know Dr. Rocco does as well, is everybody wants to know what happened to the offender, right? What happened to the student who said something to my child? What happened to the student who said that about my family? In New Jersey, due to confidentiality, you are not entitled to any information about any other student except yours. Just like we can't share any information about your child with any other family. So at times, families may believe that nothing happened because they don't receive an email, a phone call, a letter from the school saying, we heard your complaint, we've investigated it, and we did A, B, and C to the offender. We can't provide you that information. In fact, if you read the Anti-Bullying Bill of Rights and you follow the actual legal definition and you follow the process, you get no information. You get a written letter at the end of the investigation that simply says whether or not your child was found to be the offender or the victim of harassment, intimidation, and bullying. So a lot of times that is the issue that we face. So we're working with our administration and our ABSs to be a little bit more nuanced in the way in which they're following up with families, to let families know that we are actively investigating these things, but unfortunately we may not be able to provide you with a detailed explanation as to what we did at the back end of it, because we can't.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you. Ms. Williams?
Yes, thank you. So a lot of my questions, thank you guys, everybody had such good questions and they were answered mostly. So I just want to ask, again, this is, I get it, like this is on, it's always been on the website, it's always been accessible. I just want to know also, one of my questions is, what would then be the difference between today's report in July compared to November's, right?
Great question. So this is reporting period 1. So this is only incidents that took place last school year from September 1st till December 31st, because that's what's been released.
Okay.
So what will happen between now and November is the state will release reporting period 2,
Okay.
which will then give us a full picture of last school year, and then we can do a comparison to the school year before. Okay. So in November when I come, instead of it being just incidents that took place between September 1st and December 31st, I will show you these graphs and go over in detail the percentages of September 1st to June 30th.
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome.
And also, I mean, obviously, all of those things there could cause concern, right? Violence and weapons, and I know that we're mostly focused on like the HIB, harassment, intimidation, and bullying. But for the sake of when something is like for harassment, intimidation, bullying, or even conflict, are our students then, like even if it's just conflict or even if it is a HIB, right? Are they taught like how to like conflict resolution? Like are they brought in, like whatever other things, like I know that there's things that we do, but sometimes it's so hard, like especially our young learners, they don't really know how to communicate, right? So even though like they might be fighting and they might have all these issues, you know, that they're hurting each other with their words or what have you, but we're teaching them and we bring them together, and sometimes I guess it doesn't always work out, but we're teaching them, we're giving them those tools, right?
Absolutely. So I think at different levels, we're doing different things, right?
Right.
So if you think about at the elementary level, one of the things that we have to take into account and every time we're dealing, whether it be conflict, a code of conduct violation, harassment, intimidation, and bullying, is what is the realistic understanding of the person who may be the offender, as well as the person who is the receiver of whatever is happening, right? So at the elementary level, we want to do things that are developmentally appropriate, and we also want to do things that are natural and logical, right? So bringing students together so that I can, like, if you said something to me that was hurtful, so that I can try and express to you how you made me feel is a very important piece to restoration of the incident, right? I say this all the time. If simply suspending students was a solution, schools would have solved all of societal problems 245 years ago, because we've been suspending students for behavior for hundreds and hundreds of years. What we have to do, and so different levels require different responses. Now, even at the secondary level, we're still going to do that, but we do a lot of things. Like, for example, we partner with the Mercer County Prosecutor's Office, and we have a lieutenant detective who comes in, and he brings a service dog, and he does restorative circles with students who are engaged in harassment, intimidation, bullying, or in conflict. We're always trying to restore, right? There's always going to be, excuse me, a disciplinary response, but discipline in and of itself is not going to change behavior. What's going to change behavior is changing minds, changing beliefs, and to do that, you have to bring people together. You have to be restorative. You have to have those circles. You have to have sit-downs. You have to put people in uncomfortable positions to have conversations about uncomfortable things in order to move forward. So we're always doing that. That's always going to be a part of what we're doing. Even if we have a physical altercation, it has nothing to do with harassment, intimidation, and bullying. When the two parties are actually calm and ready to communicate in an effective way, we will always try and bring them together to have that communication, to try and solve that problem. Because what we don't want is something small that happens inside of a school to become something big that happens outside in a neighborhood.
Right, absolutely.
So we're trying to stop that at the same time. We're working with the Hamilton Township Police Department. We're working with the YMCA. We're working with the prosecutor's office. We're working with everybody in an attempt to do that all of the time. So yes, we're always doing that, irrespective of whether it's HIB, violence, vandalism, harassment. For example, just off topic, and Dr. Rocco, I appreciates this. If we have a student, let's say we have a situation where we have a student who lit a piece of toilet paper on fire in the bathroom or pulls the fire alarm, we immediately have somebody from the Hamilton Township Fire Department in the day they return to meet with them, to go over fire safety, to go over the dangers of, we are constantly bringing restorative approaches to what we're doing, because simply disciplining students it's not going to change the behavior.
Right.
If it was, when I got suspended, when I was a kid, it would have changed my behavior, and it certainly didn't.
Right.
So.
Well, I want to say thank you. Thank you very much for all the work that you do, because that's a big deal. So thank you.
It's not me. Like I said, all this goes to the
team.
families, the kids, and the teachers, and the counselors. I'm just reporting it. They're doing the work.
Well, thank you for leading it. Thank you.
Thank you.
Ms. Byrne?
I too want to thank you, Dr. Olivelle, for such a comprehensive report and for explaining to everyone here and listening at home the difference between the HIBs and the conduct. Is very comprehensive, and I appreciate your time. Thank you.
And if there's anybody in the, in the audience or anybody in the public watching and you have more questions, do not hesitate to reach out. I'm happy to meet, speak, have conversations with anybody. And like I said, Dr. Disler and I will be continuing to go to schools and meet with communities to have this dialogue and have these discussions so that people understand the difference.
Mr. Kanka? Any questions?
I have nothing.
Dr. Altobello, I just have a question. I think I ask this every presentation. The HIB training and the HIB programs, could you kindly provide a list, by school of all the different trainings? I'd love to be able to see, perhaps some that are working really great and be able to, push that out to the other schools as well. If the principals, administrators, and teachers have something that works really great for them, that I would love to be able to provide that.
Yes, I'll get it over to Beth Cooper. She'll put it in the board library. And based on your suggestion last year, we did that. We shared all of the other schools with all of the other schools. And I think that's why you're seeing an increase, because people are now learning what other schools are doing. So it was a positive suggestion last year, and we've implemented it this year.
Thank you. It's all about the collaboration. And Dr. Altobello, thank you very much for a very informative presentation. We appreciate it. Thank you.
Anytime. Thank you.
Just going to wait for this to turn on.
Yes, get out of our eyes.
Yep, there we go. Perfect. Thank you. So at this time, I'm going to move on to board committees. And I'm going to start with personnel this time. Ms. Soto?
Thank you. So the Personnel Committee met on July 14th at 4:15 p.m. Dr. McShane, Mrs. Williams, Dr. Rocco, and his senior staff were in attendance. And the meeting, of course, we shared vacancies, current vacancies for the 2025-26 school year, along with recruitment efforts, which will continue throughout this summer with the goal of filling each vacant position prior to the start of the school year. And when looking at that list, say Dr. Copeland and his team have done a great job There are not too many vacancies remaining, so hopefully we will be able to achieve that goal. Dr. Copeland also shared some updated job descriptions. They were updated to comply with state requirements, and they were presented for review to the committee. It is on the agenda tonight, item number 16 for approval. Not major changes, but the surprising changes. They now just require that I list that a valid New Jersey driver's license be included and the ability to pass criminal history review and sexual misconduct, child abuse disclosure. They also shared, of course, our most recent appointments, along with the positions and start dates, many of whom were approved at the last board meeting. Most of the new administrators began this month on the 1st. We had one that just began on Monday, and we will have one, our Mercerville principal will be getting next Monday. So everybody will have had some time in the buildings, ahead of the new school year. So we welcome all of them once again and congratulate them on joining us. Dr. Copeland also shared the administrator openings for 2 of our other elementary schools, and that information was shared with the committee. The finalists are up for approval on tonight's agenda as well. So that would be the principal for University Heights and the principal for Robinson, and that is item number 2A on the agenda. And Dr. Rocco shared for the upcoming school year, the district is expanding its efforts to support administrator retention and professional development by implementing 2 key initiatives to strengthen building administrators' professional capacity. First thing is offering senior staff with virtual office hours. So beginning in September, virtual office hours will be held bi-weekly to provide direct access to senior staff for support and guidance. And then the second item they'll be putting into place is our senior staff will also be visiting 4 designated schools to provide in-person support, continue to strengthen connections with building administrators each month. And Dr. Rocco also provided an update on the topic of community schools. And he also shared with all the committees, which I'm sure you'll hear about some more tonight in Rich's report, but and we've discussed before, but the expansion of our free lunch program will now include schools Cooser, Layler, Klockner, Kistart, and Wilson, and we'll continue with HEP and Greenwood as well. And then we have also shared that they will be transferring funds to cover free and reduced lunch expenses through June 30th and the remaining lunch balances. So that is all I have for my committee report.
Thank you, Ms. Soto. Do I have any questions or comments on Ms. Soto's report?
Yes.
Dr. McSheen?
I do have a question, and I can't remember from our committee meeting if we discussed it. So I remember that the job descriptions that we're updating are being updated in accordance with New Jersey law. Was there a reason that specifically the driver's license is required as opposed to like a New Jersey state ID?
Dr. Copeland, do you want to answer that? Because I do not know the specific answer to that question by Dr. McSheen.
It's just in times of crisis when an administrator may need to leave their building to go to another building to provide any administrative support.
But that's in the New Jersey state law, or is that?
It's not a New Jersey state law. No, it's not. It's just a requirement that we have here in the district.
I see. Okay. Okay, thank you.
Do I have any other questions in regards to Ms. Soto's personnel report? Okay. Seeing none, I'm going to move to Dr. Ferrara for Curriculum and Instruction Committee.
Good evening, everyone. It occurs to me each month that the public should know that all three committees meet with the administrative team. There are similarities in our conversations in that Dr. Rocco briefs us and we get some briefings from the other administrators, and then we go into our specific areas. So Ms. Soto does personnel, my committee does curriculum and instruction, Mr. Kanka's committee does finance and operations. So that is why our reports kind of look the same but look different. Our committee met on Monday, July 14th, and all of our members were present. Mr. Scotto started the business portion of the meeting with some awesome news about the district students who passed the QuickBooks exam this year. QuickBooks is a multifaceted accounting software, and students in the Career and Technical Education program can test for certification. And this has been happening for the last 3 years. The first year, which was the 22-23 school year, 4 students became certified. Excuse me. The next academic year, 11 students earned certification, and this past year, a total of 23 students earned QuickBooks certification. And this certification is apparently prized by businesses. Mr. Scotto told us that one student was immediately given an $11 an hour raise because he had that certification. So that was a great sign that, you know, kids are doing this, taking the opportunity to get certified. Mr. Scotto also noted that as of July 7th, his department was offering professional development opportunities for faculty and staff this summer. There are 26 different offerings, including classes on how to effectively use all the offerings in Google, which each year I think I should be in. We then discussed the various agenda items that we'll be voting on tonight. Motion 6 contains the 9 policies up for second reading. As mentioned last month, it was policy 0143.2, high school student representative to the Board of Education, that was rewritten to reflect the selection process that we use in our district. Otherwise, all the other policies that we voted on last month were updated by Strauss-Esme. Motion 7 contains 3 new policies which are up for first read. Policy 0144, titled Board Member Orientation and Training, reflects a change made by the legislature. It now requires newly elected board members to complete their NJSBA training requirements within the first 90 days of their term. Now, Mr. Carrig or Dr. Rocco, I tried to get through to NJSBA. Newly board members, as in board members who have never served, correct? Because if you've served, you just come up to speed on governance. Okay. Policy 0161, titled Call, Adjournment, and Cancellation, are instructions for the board secretary on how to handle those 3 aspects of board meetings: calling the meeting, adjourning the meeting, and canceling the meeting. 0169.02, titled Board Member Use of Social Networks. This 5-page policy outlines the ethical expectations and responsibilities for board members while using the social media platforms. Has some very strict requirements. Ms. Harvey and I discussed it via email, and I believe that when we move the agenda, we're going to have a discussion on it. Okay. Motion 8 asks us to accept textbooks for the following courses this year: AP Biology, Personal Finance, Career Explorations, and Entrepreneurship, which is the newest course addition to our Career and Technical Education track. Mr. Scotto, are the textbooks linked in the library if people want to go see them?
Are you referring to the board library?
Yes, the board library.
So the board can find links to those textbooks in the administrative content right there below the motion.
Okay, great.
And then afterwards, if you need me to also place them in the board library, I could do that as well.
Thank you. Motion 10, titled Kids Fit Partnership, is a program being offered to the district free of charge from the RWJ Barnabas Health. The program will be taught in the district's third grade classes. The course consists of 10 nutrition lessons focusing on healthy versus unhealthy habits, calories, my plate components, which is you look at a plate and it shows you how much meat you should have, how much vegetables you should have, how much carbs you should have, food labels, sugar, fast food, and healthy habits for life. Students will receive workbooks and families will receive recipe books, and that's all being funded by RWJ Barnabas. And those materials will also be provided in Spanish and English. And then just allow me to highlight the other motions on the agenda. Motion 2 asks us to approve submitting the grant applications that we do each year for IDEA funds. And IDEA is the Individuals with Disabilities Act, and that is a federal grant. Motion 3 and 4 are renewals of agreements with organizations that provide the district space for special services transition program. So the program serves students who have completed their high school studies but need further support to transition to a new environment. Those students can stay in that program till 21, the age of 21. The Hamilton Township Public Library provides us classroom space, and the Hamilton Y provides opportunities for phys ed. Motion 5 asks us to accept tonight's SSDS report, which Dr. Altobello presented. Motion 9 asks for the approval of decommissioning broken microscopes and a variety of books from textbooks to library books. Textbooks are sold, that's a requirement. The library books are either outdated, such as the ones from Nottingham High School Library, for example, which are books that are more than 20 years old, talking about how to finance college. And finally, an update on the personal finance class. We have students taking it this summer, and next month, I will have information from Mr. Scotto about how many students have signed up to take it online, who wants to take it in person. But right now, we have 4 students from East, 16 from North, and 9 from West taking the class this summer online. That's all I have.
Thank you, Dr. Farrar. Do I have any questions in regard to Dr. Farrar's Curriculum and Instruction Committee report? Ms. Harvey?
For the new textbook for personal finance, because we approved that being a virtual course with some students being able to opt for it to be live, is that the same textbook?
I'm going to let Mr. Scotto answer that.
The online component does not use a textbook, but we made sure when we were selecting the textbook, as well as the online vendor, that the content was similar, that the objectives and outcomes for the students were the same, and that they were aligned to the graduation requirements.
So the textbook that's in our board docs is not actually what would be used for the online version?
No.
Okay. And then I see there was a discussion of the option 2 for the sports that had come up at the last board meeting?
Yes, so option 2, and I'll just start and Mr. Scotto can finish. Option 2 for sports allows a parent to come to the district and say, look, you know, my child is riding horses every day this week because they're going to learn dressage and apply for the Olympics, and I think that is equal to a phys ed class. And then Mr. Scotto can look at it, look at all these little things and say, yep, you're right, you don't need to take phys ed. And there's an option 2 for something else, so I'll let you take it from here.
So one of the things that I shared with the committee is that option 2 is permitted in the state of New Jersey, and we do have a current process in Hamilton Township. And while physical education is not that common a request for option 2, the process is as follows. So if you are an athlete and you are participating in a sport that takes up a significant amount of time throughout the week, usually the length and the complexity of the sport could be why the family member or the student initiates the request. It then becomes my responsibility to make sure that the sport and the involvement is aligned to the New Jersey Student Learning Standards, particularly in the areas of fitness. So for example, those are movement, skills, and concepts, physical fitness, lifelong fitness, and nutrition. So if they feel that that aligns, I do an audit of the standards against what the family has presented. Then there's a form that the coach is required to sign to certify that the student is enrolled, that it is equal to what we call comprehensive health and PE minutes, which is no less than 150, and then it is signed off. Option 2 in our district and in many districts, the grade that is earned is usually a pass-fail, and it does not necessarily get calculated or factored into the GPA, the rank, the top 10 Val-Sal, because one could say that people could be doing that to sort of go around the process. So I reviewed that with the community member that had a request. We had 2 meetings, but we wanted to certainly inform the community that it is a process. And while it may be not as common as people think, we would follow the same process if you would want it to take option 2 for pre-calc honors. So there is a process in place, and we're pleased to report that if people have questions, they can certainly contact the school or they can contact my office.
So is it possible to do option 2 for less than a full year if the program meets like a semester or however it breaks down?
That's a very good question. So I needed to sort of equate the length of a season. So in this situation, the student is involved in a sport almost 11 of the 12 months of the year. So in my professional opinion, checking it against the standards, I feel that it would be equal to what would be called seat time for a full year course. If you came to me and said that your son was playing or daughter was playing rec soccer for 3 weeks, while you could initiate the request, I probably would not approve it because, again, it does not necessarily match the seat time. We do have some students that only participate in one season as opposed to year-round, and that could equate to perhaps 2.5 credits. And so we are allowed to sort of adjust those credits appropriately.
And just to follow up to your question about, or your statement about the pass-fail. So it basically doesn't it doesn't hurt the student, but it doesn't help the student either, correct? Okay.
Correct.
Thank you.
And it also helps them meet graduation requirement, of course.
Thank you. Any other questions in regards to Dr. Farrar's report? Mr. Kanka?
Yeah, on motion 7, under revised policies, the first reading, if you open up your screen, under the public content, it has policy and bylaw, the last one, 129.02, differs from the one that the actual bylaw itself. It's listed as 169.02. I'm sure it's just a typo.
Going to check that right now. First, to make sure that at least is the proper content.
It's under board member use of social networks.
It looks like it's a typo for policy number.
The only typo is just how it's noted in the document, but if you open the document, it is policy 0169.02, board member use of social network.
But when you open up the motion, under public content, it's listed as 129.02.
Oh, yeah, I see that.
At least on mine it is.
Yeah, so it is. It's listed as 129 when it should be 169. Yeah.
When we get to the discussion, I will make a motion that will address that.
It's only the first reading, so if it's adjusted for the second reading, that's fine.
If I recall in the past, if there was a typo, which I'll assume responsibility for,
That's
I believe
fine.
the board attorney has said if the sort of content of what we were voting on was proper, it would still be able to receive action. If the superintendent or the board president wants me to revise that number, I can do that now if you'd like.
At the
or we
time
can
of the
do that.
motion, I think we can make an amendment to that. Yeah.
Seeing that there are no other questions in regards to Dr. Farr's committee report, we will move on to Mr. Kanka for Finance and Operation Committee report.
Thank you very much. Finance and Operations Committee met on July 14th, 8:30 a.m. I want to thank the committee members that attended, and I also want to thank Dr. Rocco for his attendance and allowing all the other administrators to skip that meeting so I couldn't have fun with them during the meeting. They were in public, they were doing in training. So I missed all those happy faces that morning. The only one that did attend was Mrs. Disler and of course Katie. We went into the meeting. Dr. Rocco presented his communications, and it said to us that his updated community update will be posted later that week. Then we moved into the agenda, and the first thing on the agenda was, which is on tonight's agenda, the bid threshold was raised up to $53,000. What that means is anything over $53,000 for a job, it has to go out to public bid. I believe it was last year it was $44,000, and the last time it was raised up was probably about 3 or 4 years ago. We don't control that number. That's controlled by the state. The district just follows the state guidelines on bid thresholds. We talked about the awarding of the door sensor project, the ratification of the award. The project will be awarded hopefully tonight on July 23rd of $451,000 through a co-op bid to complete the remaining buildings in the district. And I'll just remind everybody in the public that this is a project that we had the pilot program with a couple schools that we're trying to secure unsecured doors. Not that they weren't locked, but in case they get open, we know that they're being opened during school hours. Then we moved on. The work is ongoing right now and will continue through the summer. And if there's any work that's going to be taking place after school starts, it will be done after school hours are over. Then we had an update from Rocky Infante from facilities on the training of the devices for our new program for work order program for the district, and there's continued training going on with the staff as well as the administrators and the staff, and as the training is completed and the system gets into operation fully, we'll give you a more in-depth report on how the system works and what is the advantages of that system for the entire district, inclusive of administration and public. Then we moved into the capital project update. The Yardville Heights boiler is in progress. We moved on next. We spoke about the pool conversions. That was out to bid at the time. The bid was due yesterday. That bid, what ended up happening is it was supposed to be on tonight's agenda. It was moved off the agenda because there was some questions about steel access into one of the schools and the restricted area that they had the restrictions in the area that they had to work in. So that project is going to be resubmitted for bidding, and we're hoping to have this all cleared up by August, so we can get that project started. And that project will be funded through capital reserve in the district. The Alaler HVAC project, the multi-year schedule, the first summer work is underway. There's a change order pending the cost of the equipment, and to extend the work over 2 summers due to the delay. There's an extension over the 2 summers was due to delay of equipment. So then the North Auditorium, we had a tile abatement. It was an unplanned abatement of the floor. That as of the meeting, that abatement was nearly completed. We're hoping, well, the completion of the project hasn't changed. It is still scheduled to be completed in mid-November. There is a change order pending for the abatement at this time. Then we talked about the Cooser sewer lines. As we reported last month, there was some fractures in some of the lines. We received the quotes, and the district is moving forward with that project. And what's going to happen is the contractor's supposedly going to come in, run some type of an abrasive tool down the pipe to clean the inside out, and then they're going to spray it with some type of a plastic coating to seal the pipe up, and in the fractured areas, those pipes will be wrapped so the coating doesn't ooze out of those fractured areas. So that's a project that's going to be moving forward. And then there's a chart of summer projects and the status of those projects, and as of right now, all the projects are on schedule for completion based upon their completion dates. There will be no work going on in the schools if there's any work that has to be done while school's in session. There will be no work going on while children or students are in school. Another facilities update on summer projects was the ceiling work at Steinert has been completed. Bathroom partition project replacement. Deliveries installation is underway at Mercerville, Wilson, University Heights, Cooser, and Greenwood. There was a couple paving projects at West Crockett, Mercerville. At the time of the meeting, the milling was underway at all the sites, and as of today, or as of tonight's, prior to tonight's meeting, the paving has been completed at those 3 sites. The only thing that's they're waiting on is the striping of the lot for the parking spaces and stuff like that. Let's see. Oh, then there was electrical upgrades, wiring at the high school through a co-op award of $134,000 on the July agenda tonight to complete upgrades at all 3 high schools. The courtyard PA system was ordered and is going to be completed by in-house personnel. We had some flooring work going on at 3 rooms west, 1 room east, 1 room Reynolds, Klockner Library. There has been a slight delay on the starting of those projects due to a new contractor, but we're working on the details to get that started and get it completed before school starts. Then we moved into food service. The expansion of the free lunch and free breakfast and lunch program for 25-26 plus 4 years onto that program. We are expanding that into Kuzer, Laowa, Klockner, Kistart, and Wilson for next year, and HEP and Greenwood will continue to be in that program. We also had there's a motion on tonight's agenda to transfer out of the general fund $218,930 to fund the food service. This is money that was transferred due to the fact that there was free and reduced students in the district that qualified, but they built up a debt of $218,930. This is the reason why every single meeting from now until forever, I've always said that even if you don't think you qualify for free and reduced, please fill out the paperwork, because there was a number of students that did qualify, and now we had to take money out of the general fund to cover those negative balances, because once they qualify for the free and reduced, we can't retrieve that money retroactively. It's gone. So, and then there's still a remaining balance of $295,000 for students that just didn't pay. And we've been having ongoing conversations about how we're going to try to collect those unpaid balances from the students that didn't pay. Then we moved into transportation. The district leases 9 54 passenger buses from Shepherd, and as we all know, we used to park the buses over outside of Bell Avenue and in a lot, but it was an unsecured lot, and the district has reached out to other entities to look to see if we can get a secured lot from somewhere, and our bus company, Shepherd, that we leased these buses through, did have a lot available, which was visited, I believe it was today, by the administration, and or yesterday, and they came through with a bid. It's a large fenced-in lot, literally about a mile and a half away from Bell Avenue where it's at now, and it's big enough to house all the parking for the bus drivers and stuff like that. But we're looking to expand that program over into that area as long as we can get a negotiated price that's going to be feasible for the district. So we are that's a work in progress, but as you know, it's been something that we've been trying to we've been looking and thank the county for allowing us to park our buses in their lot on Klockner Road till the end of the school year, but we were in dire straits here to try to find something, and fortunately Shepherd came through and has a facility that's really close to where we are right now, and more specifics got to be ironed out, but hopefully in the next couple of days we'll get that ironed out, and we'll have something where we can park our buses. Then we last month we went into there was some insurance renewals. There's an updated cyber renewal from our vendor. We approved on the July agenda the renewal, or I'm sorry, it was on the this is July, on June. So on this tonight, there's a renewal that they updated the insurance rate for cyber insurance, and it's a lower rate. So we're pretty happy about that. Next was we all know about the big leak at the Grice Auditorium roof. We had to have some some events canceled over there because of this roof issue. That roof is, as you all know, the bidding process takes forever. So this, the committee discussed it, and this project is going to be awarded under an emergency basis, where the district doesn't have to go out to bid according to the $53,000 threshold. And since we already currently have a roofing contractor on site, as anybody's known, they've gone by all of our buildings. We've had roofing work done at the 3 high schools, and they're still over at Nottingham. And the administration brought them over to Grice, and they're going to accommodate us at Grice since they're already here. There's going to be a transfer of funds, emergency transfer of funds out of capital for that project, and that's on tonight's agenda also. The work is estimated to take a couple of weeks and will be completed before school starts. And we had the other all committee type things with the implementation of the facility strategic plan, the SSDS presentation that took place tonight, and a couple personnel items that we talked about that was provided by Dr. Rocco. Our next meeting is scheduled for August the 13th, 2025. And that concludes my report.
Thank you, Mr. Kanka. Do any board members have any questions in regards to Mr. Kanka's finance and operation report? Okay, seeing none, I'm going to ask Ms. Harvey if we have a negotiations update.
Yes, the negotiations committee met with the trades, and we had a productive session. We are still having discussions continue, and I will report back next month.
Thank you, Ms. Harvey.
I want to just clarify something with the public.
Yes.
Since I'm on the negotiating committee, since they're negotiating with the trades, I am conflicted out of that negotiation, so I did not attend any of those meetings.
No, that was just, on that committee is Ms. Harvey and myself. So thank you for clarifying that, Mr. Kanka. So at this time, I am going to ask, do we have any questions on the monthly suspension report? On the monthly HIB report? And on the monthly health report?
Ms. Thornton, I just want to make a comment on the health report. Last month, a community member alleged that our health report violated HIPAA, and HIPAA covers naming people, and our monthly health report does not do that. It's just pure data. It's just numbers. And so I just wanted, I didn't want the public to think that we were violating HIPAA. We are not. We're just collecting data for the county that they've asked us to collect. And Mr. Carrick, somebody told me that HIPAA doesn't apply to districts. Is that correct?
That's correct. HIPAA applies to medical practitioners, medical providers that maintain medical records under statutes and regulations that govern the maintenance of medical records, which are very strict. But we are not a medical provider, and so HIPAA does not apply to the district.
Thank you. Thank you. Any other questions on the monthly health report? Okay. Seeing none, I'm going to move on to hearing of the public on agenda items. So I do have 3 individuals signed up, so there's no need to extend the time for hearing of the public. When I call you, please come up, just state your name and your address, or if you choose not to. And then just remember, we do have a 4-minute time limit for each speaker. And I will start with Peg Kirkuff.
Good evening. This is Peg Kirk of Hamilton. First of all, I just want to mention that I spoke of HIPAA last month. I was a department employee of the New Jersey State Department of Health for 38 years. I know what HIPAA covers. That is out of context. Having said that, and that's the fact. Now, from what the report I'm getting is that the SS report, HIB is a subset of the school safety report, is what I'm seeing. Okay, I know nobody can answer me, but that's what I'm seeing from that. It's still, and those percentages, from where I sat, I couldn't tell if they were numbers or percentages or what they were. Okay, so they were down this, they were down that. It still doesn't adequately fulfill the monthly HIB report that is on the agenda tonight. Last month at the meeting, a board member said that she was very happy to report that there was no HIB suspensions at Greenwood School for the previous month. Now, just thinking out loud, that if she knew, and the rest of you knew if that was in the report, that there were no suspensions that month, then you must know what's happened in the other schools. There must be a report out there. The report for the year, that's not what I'm talking about, and that's not what the people I've spoke with want to hear. They want to hear what's going on a monthly basis. And you have all these, how many knife incidents were at Grace? How many guns were brought into McGalliard, if any? That type of thing. And that report made look pretty, but it doesn't really answer those specific questions. And I think that the public would rather have simple numbers rather than percentages on a chart that looks really cute. The other thing, apparently what decides an HIB versus a conduct issue is discretionary. Now, I'm not saying that the people are not educated, but it is discretionary. So just note that kind of, I guess, surprised me a little bit. The other thing is that no resolution for parents in an HIB report. I know of a parent who had a continuous or ongoing situation with one of her children, and with the same two kids, her kid and this other kid. And the resolution was that the child who was being bullied and harassed and actually physically hit was moved to another school. The child doing that hitting was not. Now, there are a couple reasons for that. I don't know exactly what they are, but that's not really a solution, because that child is still there and may be harassing other kids. So there's a lot, you can blame it on the state, you can blame it on the parents, you can blame it on the teachers, you can blame it on the principals. But there's things going on in this school that are not out in the open. I still don't believe that there's not one incident that goes on in these schools every month, because every month the HIB report has nothing in it. And even the suspension report last month had nothing in it. Thank you.
Thank you. John Muka?
Good evening, everybody. My name is John Muka. I live on Sylvan Avenue here in Hamilton. I'm a lifelong resident of Hamilton Township, and I'm the second longest running act here at the school board meetings, right behind Janice. So I want to spend the time to talk about the pre-K situation. First of all, I believe every one of you is a good person. You're all good people. You have good intentions. Everybody here is here for the same reason. We're all on the same team. I'm Good people can still make bad decisions, and the pre-K, the way it was done from the beginning, was a bad decision at the beginning. So that brings us here to where we are here, where we're going to change course a little bit. Now, first of all, I have to raise an objection to the 1,800 students comment that Dr. Rocco made. Nobody I know in the community used that. We'd be laughed at if we said something like that, because we provided the exact information we got in these meetings to the people that we talked to. And I don't know where the 1,800 comes from. 350 was enough to call it a mega pre-K. We didn't need 1,800. Now, as a result of that...
Excuse me, I'm sorry.
Wait, Ms. Stanton, you can't. I apologize. Go right ahead. Continue, Mr. Muka. My apologies.
As a result of that, for 2 years I've been asking for town hall meetings. Never been one. So we held our own town hall meetings. And they were very well attended at the beginning. And as things, worked their way through, it's been a little bit less, but we had over 60 people. And the second time we had 45 people in the room. That's more people than are here tonight that are civilians. Now, you all got a copy of our report. And I just ask your consideration to treat this with some amount of respect. I did not write this report. They asked me to write a couple of pages, and they said they wanted my name on it because they know I always show up here at the school board meetings. There are many other people contributed to ongoing discussions in the neighborhood, on the front porches, walking around the neighborhoods, and also coming to the town hall. To me, this is the way we should be doing things for all these big changes we're talking about. So if you would just take the time to look through this and see as an example of what the community can do together for a good purpose, trying to arrive at the best way to do pre-K in Hamilton Township. That's what this is all about. And nowhere in there will you see 1,800, the 350 origins of the mega pre-K name. That's a couple pages that I wrote. So we have a chance to rethink the way we approach pre-K. It doesn't have to be a whole centralized one building approach or 2 or 3 massive buildings. Maybe we could just use our neighborhood, local schools philosophy that we've always had in Hamilton. We never thought about doing kindergarten all in one big building. Why would we think about doing 3- and 4-year-olds in a big building? We should have home rule and decide what we want to do in Hamilton, and we should have informed consent. And this is a roadmap on how people in the community can get together and move down the path in those 3 areas. So please take some time to look it over and spend some time with it. And finally, the state wants to spend another $1 billion on pre-Ks to make it $2 billion while schools are closing and teachers are being fired in multiple locations because they don't have enough state funding. So is that what we really want to do as voters? Another thing to consider. Thank you for your time.
Thank you, Mr. Muka. So normally we do not respond, but I am going to allow Dr. Rocco to respond. You had some questions, and I know that you are here often, so I'm going to have him respond just to clear up some inconsistencies.
Just so we don't go a month where this 1,800 number now becomes an email issue. The 1,800 number has been talked about forever. The 1,800 number is the universe, the total number of 3- and 4-year-olds who should be in preschool in this district. It has been talked about here many times. The project at Robinson was to educate a maximum of 350 students that were here. The community roadmap was an opportunity for everybody to come together, not the document you produced, the document that was produced through community of stakeholders, through the facility strategic plan. Just want to clarify that point. Also, if you did or did not hear my comments before I came, I gave a very clear, very specific update on preschool. So it should answer a number of your other questions.
You gave a clear update from your viewpoint. There's other viewpoints in the community. We never have a chance for a discussion. I heard very well there was 350 students. I know the 1,800 number. If I had said to anybody in the community they're going to stick 1,800 people in Robinson, they would have laughed at me. We all know how big a building that would be. It would be impossible. So let's try to get in the room together. In fact, here's an invitation. How about in about 2 weeks, we set up a meeting with the people that wrote this report and myself, and let's have a little discussion offline, work some of these things out.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Muka. I just wanted to make sure that we had the opportunity to answer some of your questions. Thank you. Rose Kriegel?
Before you start the time, I just want to make sure that I'm talking at the right time. I can talk about what was said committee.
So I have you here as SSDS
Yes.
data. So yes,
So I can talk
that
on
is
that.
on the agenda for
Okay.
this evening. So if that's, yes, please,
Okay,
go right
I just
ahead.
wanted to make sure. Okay. And also, you can start the time, yeah. Then people on the heads of the committee that give their report every month, I would suggest that they name the other people that are on that committee, because I, like you and Ms. Harvey, but Mr. Kenka, I didn't even know he was on that committee also, and I've never heard Mrs. Burns' name mentioned, that she is present at the meetings for the curriculum committee. So if that could be made clear to the public, whoever's giving the report, if they could say, these were the committee members that were present, and if they could state their names, just so we have an understanding of who is there. Also, I listened to the SSDS report. You're voting tonight on the approval of using this method of keeping track of things? Is that what?
I will answer that question when you're finished with your comments. I'll provide that information for you. I don't want to take up your time.
Okay, because I'm not 100% sure what exactly they're voting on. There was a lot of information in that. My understanding is you're voting to say that everybody is in agreement that this is the way things are going to be done and handled in the future. But I wanted to comment off of Peg, something she had said about somebody she knows in the community, their child, was a victim of bullying. I have, unfortunately, a neighbor whose daughter attended the same elementary school that my kids did, University Heights. 2 years ago, she was sitting at her desk and was attacked, strangled, in a second grade classroom by a boy from behind her. And another student had to pull this boy off of this girl to end the struggle. And the parents, same thing that Peg said, they told her that she could move to another school. This girl was on the same street, living across the street from her friends that all attended the school and everything, but the boy was going to remain at the school. After the parents put up a little bit of a fight, they were able to move her to another classroom. The girl no longer attends this school district but the boy nothing was done with the boy. A teacher told me that to inform a relative of mine who's on the school board that there is not enough discipline at University Heights. That being said, my daughter, who attended University Heights, went on to a Christian school, but keeps in touch with several students at the local middle schools. And she gets very frequent videos of fights happening in the hallways, almost on a weekly basis. So I'm not quite sure what this SSDS is reporting and if any of these things are accurate or not, because there are kids who have phones and they send them to other kids like my daughter, and there are fights occurring on almost a weekly basis in the school halls.
Thank you, Ms. Kriegel. So, as I said, normally we do not respond, but to answer the question in regards to the SSDS, this is a report, if I'm not mistaken, that is sent to the state. It is something that we do twice a year. As Dr. Altobello, I believe, explained, it's half the year and then again in November for the full year. If you do go onto the website, I actually went onto it earlier, you will see a more detailed report. It's not the one that he just reported on this evening. It's the one from the prior, because as he said, this evening's will be on next week once he gets back to the office. You will see it is a little bit more in detail, but these are the reports that are given by the individual schools that are combined. It's not a specific way of reporting, it's what is required by the state in order to report to them. I hope that answers part of your question. So that does conclude hearing of the public on agenda items. I'm going to move to our board agenda, and I am going to move the agenda around a little bit this evening. And I'm going to ask if we can move personnel items first. Ms. Soto, can you move personnel agenda items, please?
Upon recommendation of the superintendent, I move items 1 through 16.
Second.
Okay. So do I have any questions in regards to personnel items this evening? Mr. Kanka?
No.
Ms. Byrne?
No.
Ms. Williams?
No.
Ms. Harvey?
No.
Ms. Stanton?
No.
Dr. Ferraro?
No.
Ms. Soto?
No.
Dr. McSheen?
Yes. Sorry, broke that streak, all right. It pertains to a question I had earlier during our personnel report. So for the job descriptions, we have added to the descriptions for the principals, I think they were 3, right?
Yes, for each
For
level,
each level,
elementary, middle, and
elementary,
high.
middle, and high school. It added the requirement for a driver's license. And at first I thought it was part of a state law, but and you know, for the reasons maybe of identification or something like that. But I kind of want to open up the conversation to see if we are being as equitable as possible to people who might have reasons, medical, personal, whatever, who might be extremely qualified to be principals, but might not have a driver's license that is valid and have a reason for a driver's license that is valid, or might not even own a vehicle or want to operate a vehicle for whichever reasons. Now, I understand, you know, in an emergency situation, having a driver's license and the ability to drive, not a bad thing necessarily. I just want to make sure we're not potentially keeping someone out of a leadership position at a building who would, all things aside, be an amazing candidate for being that leader. So I don't know if anyone has strong feelings on the board, or if we have Dr. Copeland. Yeah.
Sure. So yes, that is a consideration that we would consider if we have a candidate and they proceed through our interview process, which is a rigorous process, and they are unable to possess the driver's license for the state of New Jersey. It is something that we would consider if they meet all of the other qualifications. Those are discussions that we have with the superintendent. Again, we look for the best qualified candidates to lead our schools and to serve as administrators. And we attempt to be fair and equitable to every candidate, regardless of any other situations that they may have.
And first, I should say I don't think it was an intentional thing. Obviously, when I heard in person I didn't even think twice about it because most people in my life have licenses, right? But just want to make sure because there's so many reasons that someone might not have a license that are in their control, out of their control. And, I think as long as we're potentially, as long as we're not requiring it, as long as it's not a hard limit, I'm okay with it. But if that's the case, then I'm not sure if it needs to be listed as a requirement on the job description.
So may I make a suggestion? If there is a motion to amend and remove the word required and say valid driver's license and
Preferred.
leave it at that?
Can you say preferred?
Is required on all the other, like, job descriptions? I'm seeing Dr. Copeland's head
Yes.
go up and
Yes,
down.
it is.
It is.
So you would take it out, you would want a motion to take it out of all job
I'm just
descriptions?
trying to find a solution to a valid concern that the board member has.
If you look at the actual job description, required is only listed twice in the qualification section. It's listed as to number 5, valid driver's license required, and number 6, ability to pass the required criminal history review and the sexual misconduct child abuse disclosure. So just taking it out would be consistent with the fact that these are the qualifications we're looking for, but it wouldn't be a disqualifier because you're removing the word required. So
Right.
it's just something that basically.
That's not my question. My question is, we're just looking at these tonight. We've passed others that Dr. Copeland is now affirming.
Yes.
Also has the word required.
that is
So
correct.
if we make the motion, it would have to come out of all of the job descriptions.
All the ones that wouldn't require, because I think we have job descriptions that require.
We'd
someone
have to
be
go
able
back and
drive.
adopt those again,
Yeah,
right?
I'm-
I'm just talking about tonight, what's on the table.
Right, but,
You couldn't do everything at once
right,
right now.
okay, I understand that, but I just wonder if we're opening a can of worms, and of course, we wouldn't take it out of the bus drivers require. So are we looking for a motion?
Do I have a motion to amend?
I'm just trying to think if it's useful. Is it useful to strike the required? I mean, I'll motion to amend it to strike the required from the language, sure.
Do I have a second?
I will second a motion to remove the word required from paragraph 5 of the job descriptions.
So do we want to put in desired?
Can we say
No,
preferred?
We just leave it plain. Okay.
Well, we have to vote on the motion that is on the table to remove required. And leave just driver's license. Ms. Atwood?
Ms. Stanton?
Yes.
Ms. Williams?
Yes.
Ms. Byrne?
No.
Dr. Farrar?
Yes.
Ms. Harvey?
Yes.
Mr. Kanka?
Yes.
Yes.
Dr. McSheen?
Yes.
Soto?
Yes.
Ms. Thornton?
I'm going to abstain.
Passes.
And do I have a motion to add any language to the job description?
Can we say preferred?
You're making a motion to add language to the job description?
No?
Bring it back to superintendent.
Wait, what did Mr. Carrick
So
say?
at this time, perhaps it's, we can move forward with the way that it is and bring it back to the Personnel Committee so that they can review along with Dr. Copeland and Mr. Carrick.
Okay, when you say leave it as it is, meaning leave it.
Well, we
based
voted to
on the motion.
remove
Okay.
required, and now it says just driver's license. And then if any additional verbiage needs to be added to it, the Personnel Committee can discuss that along with Dr. Copeland and legal as well. And then they can bring it back if there's any changes to that.
I just want to say I appreciate the flexibility of the board. In considering this, there are obviously people with physical and medical disabilities that prevent them from doing this. There are people who get around on bicycles and love doing that, and that's just part of their life. In this age of Ubers and Lyfts where we can call someone and have a phone in our pockets, I don't think it's necessarily the same requirement that was around in the 90s, in the early 2000s. Thank you.
Ms. Soto, do you have any questions?
No questions.
Dr. Ferrara?
No, I'm sorry, I'm laughing at the 90s.
No question. Ms.
Stone Age.
Harvey?
No, thank you.
No, thank you.
Byrne?
Dr. McSheen, I just want to address your latest comment. I understand what you're saying as far as people driving, riding bicycles and stuff. I just wanted to express from my personal perspective, I think it's like a safeguard. There's just certain things that you have to show when you get a driver's license. And I think if we're going to employ someone, I think they should be able to have those documents. I think it's another safety feature from my perspective to have a driver's license, and that's why I voted no.
Thank you, Ms.
And I can just respond real quick, and I think I appreciate that. I think it would certainly be fair to ask for a valid state license or state ID. I think that's fine enough by me if we had to go the safety route. And also there's the background checks and all the descriptions as well. So that's why I'm okay with that. Thank you.
Mr. Kanka?
I was hesitant, but I voted for you anyway. But I have to reflect on what Dr. Ferrara said. If this is listed anywhere else in any other job description, we're going to have to change every single one in the district. So, and that also takes away some opportunities that are brought in the district for being a CDL driver. If you want to volunteer and you have a CDL license, I believe that we are allowing some staff members can drive a bus or a vehicle that requires a CDL. So if you take it away from this, you're going to take it away from every single person that falls under this job description, or if we expand it into other areas where it's in that description. Maybe the word, recommended is used, but I think it should go back to the committee and let the committee hash it out and come back and let us know what's going on. But I think there's going to be some feedback, negative feedback, with other groups where this is in their job description.
Yeah, well,
and it's just going to create more havoc for us.
I think where it is.
I understand your point.
Important, yeah.
People take Ubers to work because they don't have a license, but
I think if it's part of their role to transport themselves during the operation of their duties,
And it's required.
then I can see where that could be required, and I have no problem with that. But in my eyes, being a principal means being at the place where they need to be on time and consistently. And that doesn't necessarily mean that they need to be able to operate a vehicle on their own, from my perspective.
Yeah, I understand what you're saying, but the other thing that it takes away is if we have a principal that is needed somewhere else in the district to fill in, that person doesn't have that opportunity to say go from Sane over to Yarville Heights because they don't have a driver's license.
They can Uber, right?
And that is why these are all very valid concerns, and I do feel that the most productive way, this is a great conversation where everyone is able to give out their opinions, and I do think that it does need to go back to committee and then perhaps discussed in each individual committee so that we can speak with Dr. Copeland, as well as I would like to get the legal advice from our attorney as well in regards to the job description, to see if all have to be changed. It's dependent. Each one should be dependent, which is why I think we need to get more clarification and additional information moving forward.
Yeah, because I understand. I mean, we've had principals that had to go to different schools for coverage. And if you don't have a driver's license, you can't go because you can't drive. So.
Well, again, I don't think that's necessarily true anymore.
Okay.
But I take your points, yeah, sure. Thank you.
Thanks for your concern.
Yeah.
So I would like to, any other questions,
I was just
comments? Dr. Farrar?
listening to this. It will also get into if somebody doesn't have a license, they have to take an Uber from one building to another, are we going to have to reimburse them? Do we reimburse people when they drive from one building to another? There's lots of little nuances, so I agree with you. It needs to go back to committee.
Correct. Thank you. So I would like to recognize, we have some retirements this evening, and I always like to recognize our retirements for their hard work and dedication to our school district. So I have a campus monitor throughout the district, 17 years service to Hamilton Township, Claire David Edgehill. I have an educational assistant at Grice Middle School, 25 years service to Hamilton, Donna McGlone. I want to thank you so much for your dedication and everything you have done for Hamilton, and we wish you all the best in your retirement. Ms. Atwood, can you take us through roll call?
Ms. Stanton?
Yes.
Ms. Williams?
Yes.
Byrne?
No. Motion 16, yes to the rest.
Dr. Farrar?
Yes.
Ms. Harvey?
Yes.
Kanka?
Yes.
Dr. McSheen?
Yes.
Ms. Soto?
Yes.
Ms. Thornton?
Yes.
Motion's passed.
Dr. Rocco?
All right, this is where we get to do some fun stuff here. So on tonight's agenda for appointments, we are appointing 2 new principals in Hamilton Township. And I'd like to introduce to you those 2 new principals now and invite them up to the mic to say hello. We have Mrs. Daly, who's now going to be the University Heights principal, and Dr. Greenberg, who is going to be the Robinson principal. So welcome to Hamilton Township.
It is truly an honor to be here, and I know I have big, wonderful shoes to fill. Good evening, Dr. Rocco, members of the board, and central office team. Thank you so much for the opportunity to serve as the next principal of University Heights Elementary School. I'm incredibly honored and truly excited to join a school community that so clearly values its students, family, and staff. I bring with me 17 years of experience in education, having served in many capacities and worn many hats across a variety of settings. From teaching students with special needs to supporting teachers and leading building-wide initiatives, each experience has deepened my belief in the power of relationships, equity, and high expectations for all. What drew me to University Heights is the strong foundation already in place and the school's unwavering focus on growth and inclusion. I'm passionate about fostering a school environment where every child is seen, supported, and challenged, and where staff feel empowered to grow and lead. I'm especially excited to plant roots here in the Hamilton community. This isn't just a new position. It's a meaningful opportunity to be part of something bigger. I look forward to working hand in hand with the school team to support the district's vision of building minds, building futures. Thank you again for this incredible opportunity. I'm ready to listen, lead with heart, and get to work.
Thank you to the
Board of Education for this opportunity. Thank you to Dr. Rocco for this opportunity. I'm honored to become the next principal of Robinson Elementary School and to join the team of well-esteemed professionals and work by their side to do what's best for children. For the past 26 years, creating conditions for children to succeed is my passion. It's rooted deep in my core, and I'm excited to get to work. So thank you for this opportunity.
Thank you so much, and welcome to Hamilton Township. So at this time, I'm going to move to curriculum and instruction. Dr. Farrar, will you take us through curriculum and instruction agenda items?
Upon the recommendation of the superintendent, I move items 1 through 12.
Second.
Okay. And at this time, do I have any questions in regards to curriculum and instruction items? I'll start with you, Mr. Kanka.
No.
Ms. Byrne?
No.
Ms. Williams?
No.
Ms. Harvey?
I did want to make a friendly amendment to motion number 7. It's listed as policy 0129.02, but part of the amendment is to change that reference to what's printed on the actual policy, which is 0169.02, as well as deleting on page 3, paragraph 6. So paragraph 6 reads, this is the board member use of social networks, and I believe that paragraph 7 covers what paragraph 6 should include, and that paragraph 6 is just too far. It states, not respond to any postings regarding Board of Education or school district business, or respond to any question or inquiry posted to the board member or posted on any social network regarding Board of Education or school district business, and shall refer any such questions or inquiries to the superintendent of schools to address as appropriate. And my concern is that if we just answer a question that's factual, that we would then be violating this policy. Number 7 reads, not post any information on a social network determined by the New Jersey School Ethics Commission to be a violation of the New Jersey School Ethics Act. So I believe the issues that would arise that would be problematic would be ethics violations. So we don't really need number 6, because it would restrict us from just answering questions. For instance, sometimes people say, hey, is there a half day tomorrow? Just answering yes would put us in violation of this policy.
So thank you, Ms. Harvey. So at this time, I'm actually going to ask Mr. Carrig if he could comment on this particular item.
So I had anticipated that the policy was going to be referred back to committee. The motion that has been made right now is to eliminate paragraph 6, but to allow it to proceed on first read. And in anticipation of it going back to committee, I believe that there was a request to have an opportunity for me to speak to the board about this policy in particular, because there is a recent school ethics decision that gets directly into answering questions on social media. And I wanted to bring up the nuance on that. In addition to that, you have policies that speak to the fact that your board president is the exclusive spokesperson for the board, and then you also have a policy that indicates that the superintendent is the exclusive spokesperson on certain other issues. And so all of these should really be looked at together along with that recent school ethics decision before this policy is pushed forward, I think. So as I understand it, you have this motion and you framed it as a friendly amendment, which if there's any objection whatsoever, then that friendly amendment immediately fails.
Well, since it hasn't been seconded yet, how about I ask, because all 3 relate to what you have discussed, all 3 that are on for first reading. So I would ask that all 3 policies go back to committee for review in light of the concerns I've raised.
Wait, why all three?
So that would be my
So
friendly.
Ms. Harvey,
amendment.
are you making are you removing
I'm
your
removing my
friendly?
original motion, and
Right,
I'm
and you're
asking
making a
that
motion.
all three policies be referred back to committee to address the concerns I've raised.
Why the
All
other
three
two?
policies under number 7?
Yes.
Yeah, that are on for first read.
Right, but
They address the three things.
No, they don't address the three things. There's other policies that address what Mr. Carrick says.
Correct.
The first policy, 0144, is in law and says that a newly elected board member must get their training done in the first 90 days, because a lot of board members let it slide, and then people had to follow up, and people got thrown off the board. 0161 is the call, adjournment, and cancellation. Send the board member use of social networks back to the committee. We will pull the policy that says that the board president speaks for the board and the superintendent speaks for different issues. That's not a policy that's already a policy that exists. And then we'll look at those two and work with Mr. Carrick.
Those other two are on the second reading, right?
So all you
So
really,
just send committee 0169.02.
right.
So Ms. Harvey, are you making a motion to table
692. 02, yeah.
Is that technically tabling, or is it just sending it back to committee? I just want to send it back to committee.
Right, so a motion to refer back to committee would remove it indefinitely until the committee readdresses it. A motion to table, generally, it's laid on the table and can be removed from the table at the next board meeting, so I think this is a motion to refer it back to committee.
Great. That's the motion I'm making.
Second.
Jason.
Ms. Atwood?
So just so I repeat this, the motion now, or the friendly amendment, or is this, what is this?
The friendly amendment was
That-
withdrawn.
That was
Right, but I thought it was
withdrawn.
changed.
So at this point, it's just a motion to refer policy.
All three policies.
No.
Nope. It's
0169.02.
That's the only one.
0129.02.
No, Patrick.
0169.02.
Well, it's a typo.
For the public, it's posted.
0169.02,
Yeah.
refer it back to committee.
Just that one.
That was-
And the second was
Jason.
Ms. Stanton,
Yes.
Ms. Williams,
Yes.
Ms. Byrne,
Yes.
Dr. Farrar,
Yes.
Ms. Harvey,
Yes.
Mr. Kanka,
Yes.
Dr. McSheen,
Yes.
Ms. Soto,
Yes.
Ms. Thornton.
Yes.
Motion passes.
So I will continue with any other questions. Ms. Harvey, do you have any other questions for curriculum and instruction items?
No, thank you.
Ms. Stanton?
No, thank you.
Dr. Ferrara?
No, I'm good.
Ms. Soto?
No, thank you.
Dr. McSheen?
Yes, I do.
It's your night.
My night out in the town. In here. I've got questions on two items. So number 10, which is the Kids Fit Partnership. I just wanted more information on it, just in general, like how is it incorporated? Is it throughout all the schools?
Yeah, in all the third grades. Ms. Adino, do you want to address this since the Kid Fit came through you? Sorry, I didn't mean to catch you mid-snack. Oh, I'm sorry, is that
Yeah.
Dr. Disler? Who's,
If it's not me, it's Anthony. Yes.
oh, it's Anthony, sorry.
Yeah, I'm like, I thought at first you were talking about the YMCA program, but it's.
No, it's
That's
the,
Kid Fit.
it's the
Kids
kids,
Fit.
sorry.
Kids Fit.
Item 10, Mr. Sato.
Yes, so in partnership with RWJ Barnabas, they will be going into all third grade classes across the district and providing approximately 10 lessons on those various topics. Just give me a moment, I have my notes here.
It looks like it's from December to March.
The nutrition lessons will focus on healthy and unhealthy eating habits, caloric intake, My Plate components, how to read food labels, understanding sugars, fast food, and healthy habits for life. Students will also be provided with workbooks, and the families will be provided with recipe books. So basically, we are able to have them provide us with this curricular information that aligns with the health curriculum, particularly in the nutrition component. For the board also, I do have a link in administrative content for you if you would like to read a little bit more about that. If there's additional information you'd like me to place in the board library, I can do that. The MOU that you see on the board agenda just allows us to partner with them at no cost for this curricular initiative.
So I guess, Mr. Scotto, if I understood Dr. McSheen's question, is this going to be taught by our teachers? Are there people from RWJ coming in to teach? Is this for 6 weeks, students in 3rd grade will be studying this? Will it be, how will it look on the ground?
So there's a few responsibility that takes place, right? So RWJ's responsibilities are to provide us with the training and the curricular information and all the necessary tools and resources. Our district implements the program that we are given by them. So think of it as they are providing us with the curricular resources for our staff members in our schools to provide the kids fit curriculum. It does not replace any curriculum. If you think about it, it's a curricular enhancement to address the nutrition components. There is professional development that's connected with it. And as you continue to scroll down, and this is more of a sort of housekeeping form for us, we identify who we would like the staff member to be in our respective buildings. We anticipate that will be our certified health and PE teachers that will be working under the direction of the health PE supervisor.
Thank you. That's helpful, for sure. And one other question I had was in our content, it specifically mentioned that the workbooks and family guides were available in English and Spanish, and I was wondering if, well, actually it says that's what they would be providing, is English and Spanish. And I was just wondering if we could ask if they had other languages available, if we had a copy or...
We have asked, and that is all they have in print at this time.
Okay, thank you.
Any other questions, Dr. McSheen?
Yes, one last question. Item number 12, which is the gifts and donations, which I'm always appreciative of people who, and organizations that'll donate money to our district and items. I did have a question on item B, which is the ExxonMobil Educational Alliance program, and it says $1,000 towards educational tools and supplies for STEM programs. I was just wondering if there were any requested items or limitations on that use for the $1,000, or is it just $1,000 to STEM in general?
On item B?
Yeah.
Did you say B or D?
B as in boy.
Okay.
As in boy.
So the principal, as you can see, also has I always ask them to, in addition to filling out the form, provide us with additional backup on what the objective would be. With our ACE program and our focus on STEM and STEAM initiatives, we anticipate that this will also help with curricular enhancements in that area. So it is aligned with our initiatives in the district, what we are doing in our ACE program, where our students will have STEM and STEAM-like activities, and I believe the grant came from ExxonMobil and Cross America Partners.
And I do not see any restrictions on it, Dr. McSheen.
I didn't see any in particular either.
I didn't hear that part, I'm sorry.
I'm sorry. I didn't see any particular restrictions or outlined uses other than the STEM programs and initiatives too, so I just wanted to make sure. Thank you. And that's the end of my questions.
So I actually just more of a comment as opposed to a question. Actually, it's on finance and operations, so I will wait for that. Ms. Atwood, can you take us through roll call for curriculum and instruction?
Ms. Stanton?
I'm going to abstain from number 10 and yes to the rest.
Ms. Williams?
Yes.
Ms. Byrne?
Yes.
Dr. Farrar?
Yes.
Ms. Harvey?
Yes.
Mr. Kanka?
Yes.
Dr. McSheen?
Yes.
Ms. Soto?
Yes.
Ms. Thornton?
Yes.
Motion's passed.
Mr. Kanka, can you take us through finance and operation agenda items?
As per recommendation of superintendent, I move finance and operations motions 1 through 21 and 23.
Second.
Dr. McSheen, do you have any questions in regards to finance and operations?
No questions, just a quick comment that I just wanted to acknowledge my appreciation for Ms. Atwood reaching out as soon as they updated the bid threshold amount based on the question I had last meeting. She emailed me as soon as I think she knew or heard, which I really appreciated. So thank you. That's
Thank
it.
you, Dr. McSheen. Ms. Soto?
No questions, thank you.
Dr. Farrar?
No questions.
Ms. Stanton?
No questions.
Ms. Harvey?
I just wanted to put something in perspective on the, now I'm missing the item number, the dual use applications, number 13. In January, we announced our facility strategic plan report, and our wish list number 4 was the space challenges we face. And I just wanted to put in perspective for the community that one of the reasons why we have that on there is that we have 17 elementary schools. 12 of them are on this motion to be approved to have dual use, that they don't have enough space for what they need. One of the schools listed has 3 approvals, and then one of the middle schools needs 4 different dual uses. So I just wanted to put that in perspective, that why we want to work forward to try to bring this facility strategic plan to fruition.
Thank you, Ms. Harvey. And I usually wait till the end to comment, but my comment is actually based on what you had just spoken about. In regards to our dual use applications, I do ask every year, and I know that it is a challenge that we have in some of our buildings. So, you know, I just ask in scheduling wise, you know, and I know the administrators and principals do their very best to make sure that the rooms are being used, I don't want to say wisely, but, you know, it's difficult to have, you know, a basic skills and a resource in at the same time. And I know that, and I understand the challenges, and I thank everyone. But this is just something that we really need to work towards addressing, because this can be a challenge for some of our learners, and it can be difficult sometimes. So I commend the principals for trying their best, and I ask the board to continue looking at options to be able to help remedy this situation. Ms. Williams?
No questions.
Ms. Byrne?
Yes. Motion 17. Could someone explain to me a little further what the cyber liability is, and is that state required?
We can have both Ms. Atwood and Mr. O'Boyle, who's in the back of the room, answer this question. So I'll start with Ms. Atwood, and if there are further questions you have, Ms. Burns, we can have Mr. O'Boyle do that.
Is it required? No, but I think we all should have it. So it's like having health insurance. In today's world, it's our insurance that we have to prevent in case we have a cyber attack. So for instance, when we had somebody come in and hack in our system, it was through our insurance that paid outside the deductible to hire the experts to negotiate it. And it's because we had that coverage that we didn't have to pay for that, and we had expert advice to work us through that. I don't know if, Jim, there's anything more to add. And I will add one thing. A couple of years ago, we couldn't get coverage, and that was because we didn't have certain things in place. And through Mr. O'Boyle, we put those in place, and not only now do we get coverage, they're competing for our coverage, that this is a reduction in how much it costs us.
Yeah, in some of our state groups as well, we've been this loud. Sorry, go ahead. In some of our state groups as well, we've been talking to some other technology directors, and they're seeing this trend that it's going down when you're meeting the different items that they're requiring in the packet when you submit to get cyber insurance. So basically, they give us a big long list of, are you using multi-factor authentication? Do you have correct storage backups at certain times? Are you doing a long list of items? And the more of those you check off that you're doing, the better rate you're getting with these. So we've made a big push the last few years to make sure that all of those items that they have on the list, we meet them to the best possible ability that we can. And I think that's why we're seeing a lesser rate now.
So it's one of those pieces of insurance I hope we never have to use.
So if we are hacked, the money that will be used to pay for that comes out of the insurance and we don't have to accrue another cost, is that correct?
After our deductible was paid, they cover everything. Yes.
Thank you.
Fishburne, do you have any other questions?
No,
I mean,
thank
I
you.
should say up to the limits that are in the insurance. I mean, I don't think it's, you know, we're hacked for millions and millions of dollars, but it's a pretty high limit. I should say that I'm sure there's got to be some limit that we're insured towards, but it's a high level, and it protected us on that last hack. I'll get you the actual specifics. Actually, Christina's probably looking it up because she asked for the insurance details.
Up to $1 million
There
of
you go.
insurance.
Thank you. Thank you.
Mr. Kanka?
No.
Okay. Ms. Atwood, can you take us through roll call?
Yes. Ms. Stanton?
Yes.
Yes, you said? Ms. Williams?
Yes.
Ms. Byrne?
Abstain motion 15, yes to the rest.
Dr. Farrar?
Yes.
Ms. Harvey?
Yes.
Mr. Kanka?
Yes.
Dr. McSheen?
Yes.
Ms. Soto?
Yes.
Ms. Thornton?
Yes.
Motion's passed.
So at this time, we're going to move to hearing of the public on school-related matters.
I'm sorry. I forgot on, I changed my vote from yes to all except for abstain on number 9, page 2, purchase order 2503940. Sorry.
That's okay, Ms. Thank you so much. Okay. So we have 5 individuals signed up. We do not need to extend our hearing of the public time. At this time, Janice Glonick.
Okay, Janice Lonick. My friend Sharon asked me to go with her to New York, to her high school where she started a scholarship in memory of her husband. So I said, okay, so I went up there. And the whole evening was just presenting scholarships to all the seniors. When you looked at the program, it was written in cursive writing, big cursive writing. And inside, all of the titles were in cursive writing. And I always said, you never know when you will come across it. Thank goodness I know how to read cursive writing. And suppose some cousin from one of these kids came up from here, got the program, he wouldn't have a clue what it is. So you need to know cursive writing. I also, maybe New York is showing off that they teach it, and that's why they had it so big on their program and as all the titles. I also got a beautiful letter in cursive writing from Elaine Sewell from the Robbins. Our HTEA president does all her correspondence in cursive writing. And every time I think of cursive writing, I think of that German tour guide who said, what's the harm in learning something? You never know when you'll use it. And everyone will come across cursive writing sometime in their life. However, they will not come across all their science lessons. I have never needed to know how to dissect a frog since I did it. Not in my entire life. So I'm sure we can take part of a science lesson away to teach cursive writing. All you need need is 20 to 30 minutes a week. That's it, for a lifelong skill. It'll enrich the children and save them from embarrassment when somebody hands them something that they can't read. I'm sure they can find sentences on the computer to give to the teachers. As I said before, all you need is 1 week each time. For print a sentence, the kids have to write it, the teacher corrects it. The next week you write the sentence, they have to print what it says. It's a necessity, plus it helps fill the mailman positions, because if you don't have enough people who can read cursive, we don't have enough mailmen. And after 3rd grade, they should have, 4th and 5th grade should have, all their students have to put their name in cursive on the line. As I keep telling the kids, the lines are not there for decoration. They're there to write your name on, so they have a good signature by the time they leave 5th grade. We are supposed to be having a thorough and efficient education. We are not having a thorough education if we're not teaching cursive writing, and we are not efficient if we can't read it. So we want to be thorough and efficient. We need the cursive writing in there. All you need is 20 to 30 minutes. As I said, you never know when you'll come across it like I did all of a sudden. So it is a necessity. A part of a science lesson or a social studies lesson, 1 day a week, will not harm them. This will benefit them because they will always come across it. Hopefully next week I'll hear, yes, we're going to put it in, and we're going to have our children thorough and efficient, and they will be able to read anything in cursive, which is good to do and good to know. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Clonic. Peg Kirkup.
Hello again. Hello again. Peg Kirk of Hamilton Township. Mr. Kanka has mentioned several times that there's a deficit as far as the school lunch breakfast programs are concerned, that you have to put money into that. I know that the kids come home with a lot of papers the first day of school. Is that form in their packages from K to 12? Okay, so it is in there. So the problem is that they're not returning the parents. This is the parents' fault that they're not returning it. So I don't know, but I think that's a lot of money that we have to eat every year, and it is unfortunate for us as taxpayers, but probably embarrasses the students when they go up to lunch too, and they say, oh, well, no, you don't have a card. So I don't know if there's any way you can reinforce that to the parents, maybe send home another letter. I don't know. I'm sure you don't want to withhold food from the kids, but you know, the parents need to take the responsibility to make sure that their children are eligible for such a program. And the other thing I want to just mention, and this is what I hear, is that there are instances where I guess kids need special help in certain areas. And it used to be that the kids would be taken out of the main classroom and put like in a library or something with this teacher. I've heard from a couple kids that the teachers come into the main classroom. So to me, that would seem to be very disruptive to the rest of the class. If you have another teacher in with the main teacher, I think that's taking time away. So I don't know if that's a school mandate, or is it a state mandate, or is it just discretionary with Hamilton? But I think that if there's a special need and children have help, believe me, I have a special needs child, so I'm not looking to demonize them in any way. But you also have to realize that the other kids are losing. Sometimes they come home and say they're bored. They're bored. The teacher's in doing something else. Well, what are you doing? Playing on the computer. So I think that's a part of the education system that we need to, one of the things that we could look at and maybe respond on at a further meeting. Thank you.
Thank you. John Yuka?
Good evening again. I'm John Muka, lifelong Hamilton resident. Simple question. I apologize if I missed this along the way. What is going on with the pools conversion project? Can I get some direction on how to get an answer to what the next steps are going to be for that, what it is going to cost, how is it going to be financed or paid for, and what is the square footage of classroom space that it's going to make available? Does anybody have an answer for that?
So Mr. Muka, if you would like to reach out, you can send me an email or please CC Dr. Rocco, and we'll be able to answer some of those questions if we don't have the answer to all of them, but we'll be able to perhaps answer some of those questions for you.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Jessica Trombino.
Good evening, Jessica Trombino. I have one more child in Steiner. I wanted to point out some things that I appreciate that don't go unnoticed about Hamilton schools. And first of all, thank you for your public service. Some of the positive things that are happening in Hamilton are, since COVID, our educators have become much more aware of how the emotional well-being of our students is critical to the academic success of our students. And I know that for those children that come forward with their mental health needs, that there is counseling, a really great counseling staff. I know that firsthand. And there's some mental health programs that they have been able to take advantage of, but it's only for those students that come forward with their mental health needs. Another thing is the PTA, the PTSA. There's so many great parents, and obviously the teachers and staff are very hardworking, and I appreciate that, and none of that goes unnoticed. Something that I really appreciate is the arts and music program. It's very active, and all of us love supporting the theatrics performances of our children and the art shows. It makes our children feel very proud of themselves, and it helps them to really appreciate the community that they live in. I know that Hamilton is also striving since COVID to help improve our kids' literacy, and I feel that all of us can work together and push for that. I know that there's been facility updates, and that's always a wonderful thing. It makes our kids' learning environment safer and better. And then, of course, obviously, there's a great range of clubs and extracurricular activities. So I want you to know that I appreciate there's so many more positives that we could bring up. But there's a couple things that I'm very concerned about. One, I have witnessed personally, I'm going to leave kids' names out, obviously, that there's some grade inflation going on, grade inflating. It's very concerning to me. They are not earning some of their grades. For those kids that are doing poorly, there are many teachers, I don't know if you guys know about this, but there's many teachers that are literally inflating their grades because they want to help them to promote them, and they have compassion for them. But the thing is that I don't think that that's compassion. I think that's enabling underperformance, and it's happening all the time. So I don't know if there's something that can be done about that, or I really am not sure, but the kids are saying that, oh, such and such teacher is so cool because I got a D and it gave me a C, and such teacher is so cool that I do really bad in this, but they actually inflate their grades. The other thing is, on behalf of many parents in our communities, we all know that our children are still developing, and they naturally look to adults for guidance. But I think that we are encouraging them with making life-altering decisions way too soon. I'm speaking about gender identity affirmations, or affirming gender identity, and I don't think that that's compassion either. I think that our students need all of us adults to be brave in speaking facts over feelings, and to protect their innocence and allow them to grow into themselves as they become adults. With that being said, I plead with the board to decommission, not ban, but decommission books, genderqueer. All boys aren't blue. This book is gay and the bluest eye. I don't want to decommission any of the books that are good for our kids. I want nothing but the best for our kids, but I just want that. And I also ask you to please rescind policy 5756, because all children should feel safe, not just a small portion of children. Thank you.
Thank you. Rose Griegel?
Rose Griegel, Hamilton resident for over 20 years. I just wanted to note an observation I've made coming to the board meetings over the years, because I've been at most of them. Most of you up here who have been here for the last 3 years know that, and several of you in the audience. And if I'm not here, I'm usually logged on watching. And last month, I was actually logged on watching, and the way the podium was positioned, I was able to see this side of the school board as each person came up. And I noticed one of the gentlemen that speaks frequently, Mr. Muka, when he came up, I noticed the side of the school board all kind of look at each other. Some of you kind of smiled at each other. I didn't think much of it, but I did take note of it because I was watching from home. Nobody took notes. Nobody wrote down anything. Shortly after he was done speaking, a woman came up who has been at these before. I won't say her last name because I don't see her present here, but I've seen her present at other meetings. And she started talking about her child and other children, a concern she had about their sports and participating in things. And I saw this side of the room very actively taking notes, listening to her, all ears, nodding their heads, giving her full attention. And she spoke about how her child should not have to follow gym requirements or something like that. And I also noted at the end of her speech, when she was done talking, not only was this half of the room very engaged in what she had to say, she actually said, "Come and see me afterwards," to you guys. I know there's some people in the audience here, like Mr. Muka, who has tried to get an audience. Is there something that this woman has done, or some type of a pass that she has received, or is it just some type of favoritism that this woman has that we don't, certain ones of us in the community who have repeatedly emailed, asked for audiences, asked for just tonight? I heard Mr. Muka ask again. He was told to send an email. Maybe he'll get an email back. I don't know. He's, to my knowledge, he's never had a audience with the superintendent. My husband, 2 of my kids attended private schools in the area, and at both of these private schools, he had issues that he wanted to discuss with the school, pertaining to topics that he was very concerned about. And within 24 hours, he was sitting down with the equivalent of the superintendent. He was sitting down with the head of the school, the head, which, well, they changed it from headmaster to now head of school. And this was within 24 hours of him contacting it. And I don't know that anybody, Mr. Muka, myself, or anyone who has asked for an audience with the superintendent has gotten one. But somehow this woman was able to say to you guys, "Come and see me after." So if there's a way to get a ticket for that, or something, a way to request that the same way she did.
Thank you, Ms. Griegel, for your comments. Your time is up.
Like I said,
Ms.
if we can
Griegel,
get that.
your time is up. Thank you for your comments. At this time, we're going to move to other business, and I'll start with Mr. Kanka. Do you have anything for other business?
Just one thing. School is fast approaching in September. Get your paperwork filled out, please.
Thank you, Mr. Kanka. Ms. Byrne, do you have anything for other business?
No, thank you.
Ms. Williams, do you have anything for other business?
I do. I just want to say thank you to everybody for coming out. And I actually want to thank Mr. Muka for the packet, you know, the work. What I really want to thank is the community, right, that you're saying that came together with you. And I want to address just a little bit about what you said, because I don't want, you had come up and you had said that, you know, you believe that we're all good people and we all mean the best, and you thank us for our service. And I just want to let you know that we too, we don't think that you're a bad person. We don't think anybody who has a healthy debate, or at least I'm speaking for myself, thinks that way. It's just that, like, for instance, we've had a quote-unquote town hall to go over the Robinson pre-K. We've had people here. We've done it several times. Dr. Rocco has addressed questions over and over again, so I am very sorry if you feel that it's been repetitive, that you've been ignored, because that's not my intent. I just kind of always felt that we have addressed a lot of these, and to be honest with you, I understand that what you bring to me when I see it, I understand that maybe we have a difference of opinion, and I don't think that that means that I'm a bad person or you're a bad person. I just think that if we're not going to agree on how to move forward, then that's just my voice. So I just want to thank you for yours and the community, and I appreciate the time that was spent. I really do, because it shows passion and it shows concern, and I appreciate it. And I'm not saying that it makes us not be able to talk about what our differences are or how to move forward. It just means that I'm sorry that you feel that you were not heard.
Thank you, Ms. Williams. Mr. Muka, I do apologize, you cannot comment from the audience. I'm sorry, if you'd like to speak with Ms. Williams after the meeting, you're more than welcome to do so. So, Mr. Muka, you cannot speak from the audience, my apologies, but if you'd like to have a conversation after with Ms. Williams, by all means, you're more than welcome to if she would like to have a conversation with you. Thank you.
It's fine.
Any other comments?
No.
Ms. Williams?
Thank you.
Harvey? Mr. Stanton? Ms. Stanton, sorry.
I just want to remind everyone to continue to stay hydrated, wear your sunscreen, and please be kind to each other.
Dr. Ferrara?
Nothing this evening, thank you.
Ms. Soto?
No, thank you.
Dr. McSheen?
I just want to say, I take notes on every single person who comes up, and I have for years, and I have the list of every person who's come up and their concerns as they brought it up, as I've done since I've been on the board. And I think in an allusion to the board, whether myself or anyone here is not listening, I think is incorrect, but that can certainly be someone's opinion. And if that's the perception, then that can be the perception that they take in. So I would like to say that I appreciate the work, not even from my own end, but the board as a whole, in taking steps to address comments that we get, whether they're seen by the broader community or not, because there's, these public meetings are really the tip of the iceberg, and I know we say it a lot, and I know a lot of people understand that, but it can look like we just come up here and we say yes to a slate of motions, but everyone here knows that there's a lot of reading, a lot of debate, things that don't make it to public meeting because there was too much debate or enough debate to say maybe it's not right, and things that people push for. And, I just think if it's the perception that we don't listen, it makes me a little sad, but that's okay. I can be sad. I'm not worried about being sad. It's more that, like, I hope that the perception is something that can be changed. And I don't know if it's something that can be, but as long as we as board members come up here and do what we're supposed to do and talk with each other and work things out, that's all I can hope for as a board member. And I think a lot of people here come with that energy. And I know after hours of being here and a long few days of going through the motions and being in our subcommittees and other commitments we have, at 9 or 9:30 or 10, 9:30, yep. A little tired. I appreciate that as well. So just thanks from myself to the board, the rest of the board, for your energy, and everyone who comes out here and stays out here for hours and hours. I know it's a long time, because we are here to do better and do right by our neighbors and our families, our students. All right, thank you.
Thank you, Dr. McSheen. I just do have a comment I had sent out to everyone. It is that time of the year in regards to school liaisons. I did hear from some board members, but there are some board members that I still have not heard from. So I really would like to be able to put out everyone's school liaison by next week. So if you have not had a chance to reach out to me, I just ask that you try your best to do so, because we do have some great events over the summer for some of our elementary, middle, and high schools. So I would really like the liaisons to have an opportunity to attend those. So again, if you haven't sent it out to me, send it to me if you can. That's it. Seeing that there's no other comments for other business, can I have
Motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
Thank you. All in
Aye.
favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Abstain. Motion